Cirque du Soleil had my curiosity, but now it has my attention. Co-produced, written and directed by Andrew Adamson. I unfortunately have not yet had the pleasure of seeing this show live, but after seeing this film, I feel the need to go out and see it now more than ever. So in the spirit of Christmas, or that's past, in the spirit of the new year coming up, let's talk about the positives first, shall we? Visually. I'm trying to find a word here. Oh my God. It is a very visual film, okay? There are like a handful of spoken words in the film. The 3D was incredible. I mean, it's some of the best 3D I've ever seen. I felt like I was there, you know, I felt like I was brought into this world. My jaw was dropped for a majority of the film because of everything going on, and at times I lost all sense of time and space and felt like I was right there with the performers. But all that said, the film does have its issues. 2, to be exact. The first, it's a pretty big one, is the story. There is none. We open on a woman entering a carnival. We know nothing about her, and we never will. She remains an open book, so to speak. Nothing interests her at first, but then a silent clown gives her this poster for the aerialist, and he points her in the direction of the tent where he is performing. And to avoid spoilers, she basically ends up in this other world, like the Cirque du Soleil world, worlds away. That was terrible. And spends the entire movie looking for this aerialist. He disappeared during his act. I don't want to spoil anything, but he basically disappears during his act. The film then goes back and forth between her and the performer as they both go through tent after tent after tent after tent, trying to find one another. So yeah, basically a love story. And through this experience, we the audience witness acts from the 7 Cirque du Soleil shows that ran in Las Vegas during 2011. I would tell you what the names were, but I'd butcher them, so yeah, just look it up. The acts themselves are breathtaking. Thing is though, you are constantly wondering why all the performers are trying to keep these two apart until literally the very end of the film. Why? It's a bit frustrating. You get wrapped up in all these acts and then remember all of a sudden that there's a girl looking for this guy, and then you're like, oh crap, there's actually a story kind of here. It's a very forced excuse for a story. The other big problem the film runs into is the pacing. The film runs at an hour and a half, yet, and I kid you not, it feels like double that length. Depending on whether you've seen the show live or not, this may or may not entice you. The bonus of it being a film is that you get really up close and personal with the performers and the acts themselves, but as I can only imagine, you know, going to see the show live is probably the best possible experience you can get with Cirque du Soleil, so it's really up to you. If you are at all interested in seeing this film, I highly recommend you see it in theaters. That way you get the best possible experience for the film. I give it 4 out of 5 stars.